Will show you how to do a deep sea transect. Remember that transects are different areas that have been defined by researchers, and they're going to take that defined space, usually a rectangle. And in this case, because it's under the ocean, they used photography and like robotics to record uh, different species that were at different depths. So then the researchers are going to pull up those cameras and look at the footage. And within a defined space, they're going to count how many times they see a particular species. So you are going to be doing that with different videos here in the program that you'll be assigned. And what you're going to do first, you should have this data table either in your Google Drive. You can print it. You could write on it in your like as a Google Doc, or you could write it on your own paper. That's fine. You're also going to need the species identification guide so that you know what you're looking at. And then you're going to move to and watch this video. So in this assigned video, it's called Deep One, the footprint. So I'm going to basically just very simply copy and paste that onto my guide. And then the habitat type is it's a deep sea transect. And so I'm just going to copy and paste that onto here. And then the depth that this is occurring is, it's not on this form, but if you scroll further down in the questions, it should list a table that Deep Sea 1 called the footprint right here. It has a depth of 174 meters and a temperature of 9.4 Celsius. So I'm going to take this 174 meters and I'm going to transfer it here, 174 meters, and the depth is, or the temperature is 9.4, I believe. Let me see. 9.4 degrees C. So I'm going to put that on my table. Then I'm going to look at what species I want to do a count on and see how many exist in this space. So I'm going to go to the video footage and look at it for a second. I can see right away these very identifiable, easy to see lobster here. So I'm going to find out their name. And on the table that you have here, the guide, the species guide, you can find this Munida squat lobster. So I'm going to write squat lobster here, which I've already done. And the genus species is Munida. That's probably just the genus and not the species, but that's okay for this. And then I'm going to write down, record how many I see in the first 1 minute, and then in the second minute, and then in the third minute. So this, most of the time when you're doing species transects, the research team will want you to count every single species and not put a range. However, in this transect, they are allowing you to just write a range. So you're going to say, I saw a single, like I just saw one. I saw a few, which is 2 to 10. I saw many, 11 to 50, or abundant, meaning I saw more than 50. So in in minute 1, that goes from the beginning to the end, like the first minute, we'll look and see how many we see. So when I hit play, I'm seeing 1, 2 there. And I'm seeing a third right here. I'm pretty sure I can identify because it has the same like forked at front legs. And a fourth. I think there were a few more in that coral. Like right here. 5 and 1 here, 6. We're 30 seconds in and we have 6. It looks like they like to hang out on that coral, so I'm guessing when we go to other spaces, we're not going to see as many. Here's another creature we could look at in a little bit, or we could look at these fish or these corals. Okay, we just finished the first 1 minute and I saw a total of 6. So in the first minute, I saw 6. So I'm going to write few 2 to 10. So I'm going to write F, and I'm going to write specifically that there were 6 because you don't need to do that, but I don't know. It kind of bothers me that they don't have you be accurate. Okay, so then for the next 1 minute, I'm going to see how many I see in the next minute. And again, because they're off of the coral now, we might not see very many. However, having them scan like this lets me know what I should look for next time. There's some distinct species here that we could do. We could do these fish with this spot. It looks like there's a few different like polyps or corals here that we could use. I saw an anemone earlier that we could use. And because we're off the coral, I really don't see very many of those squat lobsters. There's another like polyp like anemone that's there that we could find out what that is. Okay, so we just finished the second 2 minutes. So I'm going to record on my form that I saw 0. So that's not a choice here for single, but I'm going to say none. None. Which isn't listed there. Then I'm going to do the third set of minutes, and then I'm going to write what the total abundance is. Then I'm going to go watch back and watch this same transect. So I will watch it all the way through just for the squat lobster. But then the second time I'm going to go through it, I'm going to go through it for a new species. So I'm going to rewind it to the beginning where we started. And I'm going to look on my guide for a new species that I also saw that I would want to count. So we could do, which of these did we see really well there? I think we saw that anemone really well. And it's called just a sea anemone. It's got the genus. So we will do this sea anemone. I think that would be an easy one to pick here. So we'll do this sea anemone. And so for my next choice, I'm going to go through and write the name of that sea anemone here, just sea anemone. And then the name is Actinaria. Actinaria. So I will just write sea anemone. I'm pretty sure I spelled that wrong, but autocorrect is here for me. And then this was Actinaria. And then I'm going to count how many of these Actinaria that I see. And so far in this first minute, since we're going to be hanging out on this coral, I don't know that we will necessarily see anything here. I wouldn't expect to see an anemone in this. So as they pan off of it, I'm seeing one of our Actinaria here. And as the camera like focuses, you can see it is the Actinaria. And we're still in the first minute. So we can record that one Actinaria on our form. So we can come back here. And in the first minute, we can say that we saw S, like single. And we saw that single obviously means 1, but because I wrote the number here, I'll do it there. Then you're going to do it for the second 1 to 2 minutes. I think we saw another single, but don't quote me on that and get this wrong, but that's how you're going to fill out this form. So you're going to fill out this form and you'll just like take a screenshot and submit it on your deep sea transects to show your data. You only need to do 2 species in each transect that you are assigned. You can do more if you want, but that's all that is required.